Hello, everybody, and welcome again to the Real Collective Podcast, the show in Ottawa that's all about being real, collective, and people. We're having a great time today. We have a special guest on the show. As with me, as always, is Sean Tassay, and today we brought in entrepreneur and real estate investor Rich Danby on the show. Rich, thanks for joining us.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
Yeah, I know we definitely want to pick your brain. I know that Sean has some stuff that he wants to ask you. Before we do get started, if anyone's watching, please like, subscribe, and share the channel on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. That would be great. If you're running us in the background on YouTube, thanks. Check out some of our other videos as well when you're done. They're very entertaining. So we're going to get into it. I know that Sean has some points that he wants to get into for you, and I've got some questions too. So let's get started. Sean, how are you, my friend?
Yeah, doing well. Summer's here. I think we're wearing short sleeve shirts, so that's exciting. The weather's getting nicer. The overall real estate market seems to be picking up. We were in a bit of a slump for the last, I'd say, 6 months or so, ending last year and starting this year. But I just did the review of numbers for the month of April, so for the first third of the year, I guess, 1/3 of the way through the year, you can see we're starting to turn a corner a little bit. Buyer sentiment seems to be picked up. Interest rates are sort of holding steady, and that's it bodes well for sellers because there isn't a lot of inventory. So all of that tells you that how I'm feeling is pretty hopeful, pretty promising. Spring has sprung, and you can definitely feel it in the air. So that's me. Rich, why don't you do a quick little bit of intro? Tell everybody about yourself and what you're up to and what you're feeling, who you are, where what you're all about, and take it away.
Sure. So I'm a real estate investor. I've been investing in real estate for over 20 years. I previously was in television broadcasting for 15 years, and eventually I started to make more money in real estate investing than I was in television broadcasting. And my wife said, "It's time for you to spread your wings and fly." So I did, and my wife and I are a duo. She's a realtor, and I'm an investor. And we've worked together for 19 years. We've been together to build our wealth and to help others create wealth in real estate as well.
Yeah, I think one thing that I really notice about you is your willingness to give back to other people, coaching, mentoring, helping as much as you can. And yeah, Christina's a beauty. I love it when we get a chance to work together. She started before she was a realtor. She was doing the staging thing, so always sort of working together hand in hand. One person doing one thing, the other person doing the other thing. You guys are well known in Ottawa as one of the real estate power couples. So it's great to have you on the show. What so I mean, we'll talk a little bit about the company that you've got, but before we do, why don't you tell us a little bit about what you're seeing in the market, what you're thinking from sort of an investor mindset point of view, and what you're coaching some of the people that you're working with who are investors, what you're telling them about the market right now.
Yeah, kind of to what you said, we can see that market is moving where there's more people buying. I think a lot of people have been on the sidelines, sitting and waiting. And I think for investors, that really hasn't changed as much. Definitely, if you're wanting to buy a home to live there yourself, there's certainly deals to be had. And you can see that more people are actively out there now. We're seeing some properties now getting back into multiple offer situations, which is really good to see as the market's moving a little bit in the right direction. But with having interest rates increase 8 times in a row, even though they're holding steady right now, from a cash flow perspective as an investor, it's really, really difficult to make the numbers work. And so since we don't really know whether or not we're at the bottom of this market yet, because things are just starting to move in the right direction a little bit now, my advice to investors is to just kind of sit and wait. It's not time to jump yet. Unless you're finding a great deal, then of course you can make money there. But the reality is if you're buying to renovate to then refinance, interest rates right now are not really that great. So you really have to be careful as to what you're doing as far as buying, for sure.
Yeah, we were just looking at I was looking at a sixplex with a client, and he said, look, it's posted at whatever it was, 1.3. he runs the numbers on it, says, look, I can't give you more than 1050 for it. And it's just, that's what the numbers are. It's based on what the interest rates are. And sure, they've stuck steady, but they haven't gone down. Right. And it's, you're right. It makes it really hard when you're looking at cash flow. Ottawa's never been a really great city for cash flow. Right. We've been good for appreciation. And we were sort of tricked over the last 3-4 years where, hey, look at that. The rates are so low that you can actually, you maybe don't buy cash flow, but you can reno and get yourself to a point where you're in positive. But certainly not the case now, right? We're looking at cap rates that are well below what we had before. So it's tough. I agree for investors. And I mean, I know flippers that are stuck. They're just stuck sitting on properties. They couldn't what they needed to. And they've got all their capital tied up in a property and they can't pull it because they can't sell it for what they need to. So it's a tough road right now for real estate investors. So what do you do? Like if this is what your full-time job is and you're fully invested in real estate investing and you're kind of just sitting on your hands, what do you do?
Yeah, that's a good question. Who do you want to be when you grow up?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, even as a realtor, because you're a realtor, my wife is a realtor, and we know sales are massively down, and we know that at least saying like 40% less properties, which means there's like 40% of realtors that are going to go out of business. They're going to have to find a new job. So not everyone's surviving that. Obviously, I think the thing at this point is to preserve, like to take what you already have. And if you're in massive negative cash flow, and even if you're flipping properties, as you mentioned, it's a scenario where you got to bite the bullet, because whatever equity you do have is going to be eaten away by those high interest payments that you can no longer afford. So the best thing to do is preserve. So if you need to sell, and you might not be getting what it was that you were going to be able to get 2 years ago, but it's still, the market has done so well that you're still in most cases profitable. From an investment property perspective. From flipping properties, you're going to lose money. That's just a fact. The last 2 properties that I bought, I lost money on both of them. And I haven't lost money flipping properties in at least 15 years since I actually lost money. And so it's just one of those scenarios where first things first, you take care of the cash flow problem that you have. And then, whatever's left is left. And then you just figure out what to do. So in my specific case, I am a licensed mortgage agent. I also own a painting company. My wife is a realtor. So we still have ways in which we make money and the different things that we're involved in. But if real estate investing is your full-time game, it's a really tough season to be in right now. And there's unfortunately a lot of investors who were, as you said, Ottawa isn't a great cash flow city in the first place. So obviously if interest rates go up 8 times in a row, it's going to impact you unless you're locked in. But those renewals still come up, and the offers that were being made 2 years ago are certainly not what people are being offered today. So it's a season of patience, and it is definitely a season to really look at different avenues in which you can still be involved in the real estate market without necessarily being an active investor.
You mentioned before we started too, in talking about something else, that you learn more about failure than you do from success. And I don't want to call it a failure, but what does it teach you when you're like, for the first time in 15 years that you're losing money on a flip? Like what do you take away from that?
Yeah, I think it's a really good, the path to success is failure. So if you lose money on a deal, first of all, I think it's good because it teaches you humility. You don't get too cocky and too arrogant. And, if I'm going to start up a company, or let's say casino is a good example. If you're going to go to the casino, the best thing that can happen to you the first day you go there is you lose money, because then it discourages you from going back. The worst thing that could happen is that you win the first 20 times you go, and every time you go, you increase the money that you put out there. And then on the 20th time, instead of losing, $100, you lose 100,000. So I don't think failing is ever bad, because you learn something from it. And I'm in a fortunate position that I've built up enough equity, and I've had enough success that one or two failures isn't going to have my empire collapse. But definitely, it does get your attention, and I think humility is always good to learn at any age. I don't think we could ever get to a point where we're still not learning. If we're not learning and growing, then we're dying, right? And I certainly don't want to be part of that. So I think it's really just about accepting things for what they are and making the necessary adjustments.
I think that's a good life lesson for anybody, right? And like you say, every business owner, every small business owner that I've spoken with over the last pretty much since the beginning of this year, they've said, "Hey, this is a lean year. If we want to keep doing this, we've got to really tighten things up. We've got to be smart about what we're doing." All of those monthly expenses that just come out of your credit card without ever paying attention to, it's the time to that you don't use the service for. It's the time to say, "Oh, okay, let's get rid of this,"
So are you telling me to cancel my gym membership?
you know what? I no, I'm not saying cancel your gym membership. Definitely if you're using it. But if you're not,
That's what I got to get back in the gym. That's what you're saying.
listen, if anybody's got to get back in the gym, it's me. So I'll put that out there. How's that? No, and I think you're right. Is the idea of coming to it with humility and the willingness to push. I think the people who are going to be successful when this turns a corner are the people who are still pushing hard and doing work even in the face of this adversity, right? And really just getting back to basics. How did you get successful in the first place? And rinse and repeat, right?
Mhm.
So, the other point you mentioned earlier was about keeping cash in hand as much as possible, as opposed to going and spending it on other things that you might not actually need. And talking about different income sources, right? Whether it's a painting company or whether it's a being a mortgage broker, right? I think having other sources of income be very helpful with regards to getting through everything. And I think we'll talk a little bit about your painting company, but we'll do that in the second half.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't know where we're at now. If it might be time to take a quick break. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. We can do that. Then we can jump back into it and talk about the other side of things where when you're investing, what are the other things you're investing in? I think that's a good way to go about it. So for the meantime, we'll take a quick break, take a look at one of our videos that we have on the go right now. The home's probably sold right now because that's the market for the ones that we're selling. We'll take a quick break. Again, like, subscribe, and share the channel. We'll be right back on the Real Collective Podcast.
This episode of the Real Collective Podcast is brought to you by Real Collective. Real Collective brings together best-in-class real estate agents and collective experts in the field to deliver the best possible service to our clients. We govern ourselves with honesty, open-mindedness, and compassion. With diverse skill sets, our agents are able to better serve a wide array of clients, including first-time buyers, first-time sellers, transferees, estate sales, investors, and rural, vacation, and luxury properties. Authenticity and transparency are pillars of our process, which allows us to put our clients at the center of everything we do. Our years of experience and knowledge allow us to deliver prestigious service and optimal results. If you are interested in buying or selling your home, contact us today at realcollective.ca.
Welcome back to the second half, everybody. Jumping right back into the swings of things. We have Sean Tassel with me as always, and our guest today, Rich Danby. Sean, you had some things that you wanted to bring up for the second half, so why don't we just jump right into it?
Yeah. So I know, Rich, a lot of the times when you're speaking with people about real estate investing, a lot of the times you'll start with, before you even talk about real estate, out there in the world, you talk a lot about the real estate of the mind and what people are thinking and getting out of their own way. A lot of the, you've spoken with big groups of people on big stages and all that sort of stuff. So what does that mean to you when you talk about real estate of the mind?
Yeah. Well, one of the things I've learned from teaching people how to invest in real estate and speaking in front of large groups of people is only about 10% of the room does anything significant. So what's going on with the other 90%? And I think with the other 90%, they're just stuck in the busyness of their life. And I talk about the real estate of the mind in the fact that if you don't have the right mindset, then you're not going to achieve any significant results. It takes a different way of thinking, a different way of being. So as a person who has coached a lot of people, they'll come to me and they'll say, I want to own 100 properties. Like, great, that's a very generic statement. Or I want to make $1 million, or like they just throw out these random comments. But I know like a goal without a plan is just a dream. We all know that to be true. So before we get into the strategy of how to accomplish the goal, I first want to uncover all of the blind spots. What is actually standing in your way? What are your limiting beliefs? What are you reading? What are you not reading? What do you watch on TV? How much time do you spend watching TV? Like, what's your family life like? Tell me about your background. There are so many things that people don't know about themselves that's stopping them from having the success. So they're, often, watching shows like HGTV. Oh, I wish that could be me, but it really could. There's nothing stopping anybody from doing that stuff other than just getting out there and doing it. So life, unfortunately, gets in the way of all great ideas. And so the real estate of the mind is really about making sure that you're consuming the right content, that you're hanging around the right people, that you're putting yourself in an environment for success. And so that's, I really feel like, we can talk business all day long, we can talk about strategy all day long, but until the real estate of the mind is addressed, unfortunately, people are going to feel a lot of negative feeling towards themselves, thinking, I'm not good enough. There's something wrong with me. Why can't I do this? Why is this guy who I'm smarter than so much more successful than I am? What's wrong with me? The reality is there's nothing wrong with you. It's just you don't know what you don't know. And that's why I spend a lot of time focusing on the real estate of the mind.
I would say the one piece that I see that sets successful people apart from not successful people is the willingness to put in the work when nobody's watching. And people are, graded all the time on their potential. And, oh, you know what, if you could be so good if only you. And the answer is always perform, do the work, right? It always comes down to do the work. And of course, as long as you're doing the right work and you're aiming it in the right direction, that's where success lives. And I think as humans, that's where we get really, fulfilled. Like, you go and you cut your grass and you look outside, you say, hey, look, I did that thing. You can show that there's something to show for it. It's the same in real estate for us. It's about hitting the phones, right? Or to enough people so that we can, serve enough clients so that we can have the success in it. And in real estate, it's, making offers on properties. That's ultimately what it comes down to, right? You have to make offers on properties. And a lot of the investors that I talk with, you're making 10 offers before you maybe get one under contract. And the one you get under contract, you might walk away from, right? So it's about the willingness to do the work. It's about the mindset. I think that's a really good thing to think of. So shift gears a little bit and tell us about the other stuff that you've got going on. And I'll tell you, for me, we've had a number of clients use your painting company. And one thing that really stands out to me about that company is the dedication that you guys have to providing a level of customer service that, I don't know about you, but for the last couple of years, everybody just seems to be mailing it in. But the white glove service and what you guys are doing, it's evident. And the willingness to sort of go above and beyond and provide that level of service that not everybody does is, it's clear for me to see, and the clients see it too. So what's your plan? What's your overall plan? Where are you guys going in the future? What's the vision about that particular company?
Yeah. Well, thank you, Sean, for the kind words. We definitely do try to give white glove treatment to our clients. I think what really separates us from other painting companies is the fact that we're not painters. We're not going in wearing every hat. We're not one-man show who is the painter, the guy doing the bookkeeping, the guy doing the marketing, the advertising, answering the phone, sending the invoices. I look at it as from the perspective of being an investor, real estate investor first. I recognize that the number one thing that an investor wants is reliability. It's very simple stuff. Show up when you say you're going to show up, and don't change the price. Don't start adding things and try to lure me in with a low price and then start telling me I need this and I need that, and then not showing up when you say you're going to show up. It's basic business, I know, but the reality is when you try to wear too many hats within your company, you're going to drop the ball. It's just the reality. You can't. The more referrals and the more businesses you get, the harder it is to manage it all. So from the very beginning of the business, I made the decision, first of all, to partner with my brother-in-law. So it's somebody who, his name's Kevin. He runs operations and I run business development. So we don't cross over each other. He works on today and I work on tomorrow. And that's pretty much how it goes. So in operations, when we started the business, the thing that I said to him is, I don't ever want you painting. Because if you're painting, that means you're not managing. You're not doing the things that we need to do to grow, because we can't grow as a company if you're the one doing the painting. Now, every once in a while, of course, you have employees, you have to get in there once in a while and get your hands dirty, but that's an exception to the rule. So realistically, we've only existed for 2.5 years. We started this business during COVID, and we're now number 3 in Ottawa. So we've got a tremendous amount of clients. And just, through what you said, you do what you say you're going to do, you give people the white glove service, and you just move quickly. So we've got a ton of commercial clients now. We've done really well with the residential, and, we've got a 5-star average on Google and a lot of reviews for a company that's very young. People don't realize we've only existed for, less than 3 years. So it's really about just running it as a business. And I think, a lot of painting companies, most painting companies they're not doing it that way. It's a painter who wanted to paint and then needed more people. And that's typically how a lot of these companies grow. And, we've just made a decision from day one with a very clear strategy for each year of what our goals are. And we work collectively together, Kevin and I, as a family to each other. And that's why it works. The other reason it really works is because we have a way of treating people, which is also not common in the trades industry. I've seen as an investor for years, there is so much ego and there are so many people who are in charge who talk down to people as if they're below them. And we don't talk at people, we talk with them. When we say, how are you today? We really actually mean, how are you today? It's not just yeah, you're great, fine, here's the paintbrush, get to work. So I think really a big part of our success is around retention and also being the type of company that people want to work for.
Yeah. It's funny, we never see ego in the real estate profession. So I imagine it's totally different for you.
Yeah.
It's to see that. Yeah, just kidding. Yeah, that's I think you hit the nail on the head. Is you're treating your business like a business, and a lot of other people are just like, oh, okay, well, I've been doing this for 20 years, and here's how it works. And I think you're right. Is people are wearing different hats through the whole process. So where are you going? What's the long-term goal for that painting company?
Well, we definitely want to be number 1 in Ottawa, and we have goals ultimately to fire ourselves, to be honest with you. That's the ultimate goal, is to pull ourselves out of our own company completely so that we can go work on the next idea. So we have a strategy around that. We have a timeline around that. But ultimately, we're growing a company that we can sell. So, the issue with being a one-man show is if you get hit by a bus, you have nothing. And so we're trying to build a company that isn't relying on the 2 of us to be involved in the company. So for now, it's, we're on a 5-year plan, and right now we're halfway there, and we're right on target with where we need to be. And, we're making adjustments as we need to make them. So really, considering that we launched this during COVID, we're ridiculously pleased with how successful it's been.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's really that is the goal of every entrepreneur, right? Is to replace yourself in the role that you're in, and to continue to move up and move on to the next piece. I just always find it really hard because there's that feeling of attachment to the thing that you've built, right? So it's I think it's good to have the idea that here's what we want to do. I always, especially in having a real estate practice, looking at that and thinking about like what's the long term. That's always a hard thing to imagine yourself being removed from your practice. So.
Yeah, I think, well, so our company's ottawahousepainters.com. I think for like, it's kind of like being a real estate investor. I have no attachment to a property, none. Like I can move at any time, anywhere, because I've done it so many times. I'm not married to it, but I do remember the feeling of that first house. And I remember there was definitely an attachment to that. But like, as far as how I look at business, business is business. And so, you just run it well, you do a good job, you service other people. And as long as you put other people first, then, as far as whether we sell the business tomorrow, like we're willing to, we would sell the business tomorrow if the offer was good, sure, because we just go on to the next business. I don't think business is really that difficult. It's somebody wants something and somebody could provide what it is that they want. All you're doing as a business owner is facilitating in the middle.
Yeah. Yes, and you care. Kevin cares. You can tell, right? And so I always worry, if that piece is gone, is the business as successful? That's all. And
yeah,
as long as the person who is calling the shots and client facing is someone who cares, then yeah, I think it can still be successful. I think that's important.
for sure.
And you can see it in how you guys operate, right? Is that you're coming from a place of not just caring for the employees, but caring for the people that you're taking care of as well. So yeah, that's it. That's it for me. I'm out of questions. I don't know about you, Brent.
No, I think that's a good wrap up spot. Yeah, I think we took a lot away from it, and that was great. As someone who's, I'm still not quite in the investing phase yet. It's good to know some things and have some insight, and especially for someone who's maybe watching that's not in real estate at all, that's just looking for some answers. I think they got answered today. So it's a good spot to wrap it up. Thanks for being on the show, Rich. Really appreciate you coming by. We're going to wrap things up again. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the channel on Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Spotify, wherever you happen to be. We really appreciate it. I'm Brennan McKeegan. This is Sean Tassay and Rich Danby. And until the next one, keep it real.
Collective.